Hello and welcome back to the Orlando Adventures podcast. I'm your host Russ, and today's episode is the next Q&A one. So I love a Q&A. Let's be absolutely real, let's be honest. I love a Q&A, and I know you all do too, because I have done quite a few Q&As in season 1. But we're in season 2, and we are, 20, 21 episodes into season 2, and I haven't done a Q&A yet. And it feels like it's time because I know you will enjoy it, and it gives everybody a chance to ask questions that they might want the answer to, or just intrigued to know. People might want to find out about me, but also might want to find out about my opinions. And I'm very open. I'm very open. I'll always be as honest as possible. I will always give an answer to everything. I will always try and answer every single question as well. It means the world to me. Like, genuinely, it does mean the world to me that people take the time out and they submit these questions, because I know that sometimes it can be a bit hard when you see like a story come up and you think, I really want to ask something, but I'm not sure what. And obviously, I do a couple of episodes a week, so I talk a lot. You will hear me talk. You will hear me kind of go on about different topics. So I do cover a lot of stuff, but at the same time, I think there's that opportunity. There's that opportunity for you guys to just kind of take the reins, ask the questions that are kind of burning inside for you to know. And I don't mind how deep you go with it. Like, just go for it. Ask the questions, because I'm always very, very happy to answer. I'm up for answering. I like I said, I just appreciate that you've all taken the time out to ask these questions anyway. So I've got quite a few questions. We're going to crack on with them as ever. Some of them are absolutely brilliant. They really are. And like I said, like, just the fact that you all take the time out to do this, like, means the world. And while I'm on that, I just want to say thank you, because the first question I've got is, let's have a little look. So the first question I've got, and I've had this question from a couple of people in the Q&A, but I've had this question from hundreds of you. Am I okay? I'm good. All right. So, like, genuinely, like, thank you. And I just want to say thank you for, the amazing support, the amazing kind of backing that this community gave me. I've got to be real with you. Like, obviously, I put that story out, and that was really getting into my life. And I thought, you know what, I feel like it's right to do it. I do feel like it is, it is the space to do it, because I appreciate you all so much, and I know that you all are invested in myself and Orlando Adventures and what's happening with things like the podcast and the YouTube. And all I want to say is just thank you for all being there, because you'll know who you are. Like, I'm talking to all of you, like all of you who sent a message and just asked how I'm doing, and said, if I need anything, just like hit you up, send you a message. And like, that is mad. Like, it's special. It really is. So you're all amazing, and it's cemented in my mind that this community is the best, most positive, most incredible place and space that there possibly is. I feel so lucky. I feel so lucky to be able to do this, to be able to talk to you all about something that I love, and to share your experiences as well, but then to start sharing mine. And just, this is the most incredible place for us to all kind of band together. We've all found our people. We've all found our... It's interesting, in the Cheers Is episode, Keith said it. We've found our tribe. We all, we get each other. We understand each other. We appreciate that, like, not everyone wants to talk about Disney or Universal or Orlando all the time, but in this space we do, because we love it. We live and breathe this. And when I say that I'm just getting started, I genuinely, I always mean it, because honestly, like, as you've seen from some of the fun, like, little skits and stuff like that I've done, and fun little things, and and like trying to have a bit of fun with the podcast and having a laugh and a joke with you all, and but also anyone who's interacted with me will know that, like, I'm here for a laugh. I always am, and I hope that shines through, and I hope it shines through in the vlogs especially, because that's my avenue to kind of get my personality out there, to be quite honest with you. So anyway, I'll stop going on about it. But yeah, the first question I got, it was how are you? And I am doing good, and I'm doing good because of all of you. So I appreciate you all, and we keep moving. That question, I got that from Jojo mostly Braden, and I also got that from KK507X. Appreciate you both. Thank you so much. So Jojo mostly Braden did also ask another question, and I need to double check whether or not anybody else asked this as well. I don't know if anyone did, but this is realistically the question that's probably burning on all of your minds with regards to Orlando Adventures and the YouTube, because, there was a small matter of the next trip. The next trip was end of July going into August. So Jojo Mostly Braden has asked, are you still going to get a trip in this year? Yes. Yes is the answer I give you. And I'll give you the lowdown. I'll give it to you right here, right now. Am I still going on that trip? Yes. Yes, I am. Has it changed? Absolutely. Of course it's changed. So where we're at now, I'm actually going with my brother. So myself and my brother are going. We're going for 2 weeks. It was 11 nights. We've upped it to 2 weeks. Obviously, I've changed it all because I was going to Pop Century. I was going to Animal Kingdom Lodge, but I've changed it because, circumstances and whatnot. And I'm now going to be going with my brother, and we're going to be going to All Star Sports, I believe. So we're going to do 2 weeks at All Star Sports. So we're staying on site, and we've got big plans. This is going to be a busy trip. It wouldn't be a Russ trip without a busy trip. But we are going to do all of Disney. We're going to do all of Universal. That includes Epic Universe. And also we've got plans on doing Busch Gardens and potentially SeaWorld for the rides as well. So if you wanted vlogs, you're going to get them. There's going to be 14 vlogs essentially coming, which are going to be absolutely jam-packed. And I can't wait, because obviously I love Orlando. I love talking about it, but I love experiencing it. So to get to go and experience this is going to be really, really good. And, I've never done a trip with just my brother. Obviously, we've been on family trips together, but we've never done a trip with just the two of us. And we're both really, really into coasters. We're both really into the rides. I think we'll have a great time. I really do. I think it'd be a really, really great experience. And I'm super grateful that, he's coming with me as well. So, we're going to have a fantastic time in August. So I believe we're going on the 5th of August for 2 weeks. So I've basically pushed the trip back by a week just to coincide with the dates that he could do. But we're still going to Epic Universe. That's still on. And yeah, it's going to be a banger of a trip. So next question. Nick Carter. If we're talking about trips, Nick Carter, he's coming with a big one. He said, what are you saying? Halloween Horror Nights needs to happen. And then he's put, see you there in October, ? Mate, so put it like this. It's gone through my head, okay? I'm tempted. I am super tempted. And does it happen? I don't know. Put it this way. I've thought about it. When I think about stuff, it normally happens. I get ideas and I run. So let's just leave it there for a minute, because obviously I've got the next trip coming. I've got a lot of stuff going on at the moment, but there is a possibility that Halloween Horror Nights might happen this year after all. So I know that's going to excite a few people. I know it is. And I'm excited. You can hear it in my voice. I'm excited thinking about it. I'm excited talking about it, because if I do get to do it, I'm going to be bricking it. Let's be absolutely real. But I am ready. I've spoke to so many of you about it, and I know that you will love it. And I feel almost obliged to do it. And obviously I want to vlog it. I want to vlog my reaction, because I am going to be a state, but it will be hilarious, I'm sure. So Nick Carter, it's a great question. He's asked me another one. If you could relive one day you've already experienced in Orlando, what would it be and why? The one I go back to, and I'm sure I've said this one before, I think back to it, and it was when I went with a couple of my mates back in, I think it was 2016. we were not long kind of, I think, like out of like sixth form and college and uni and all that kind of stuff, and we were kind of like, right, let's just go and do something. Let's go and do a trip, and we all had this kind of shared passion for Universal and like Harry Potter and Jurassic Park, and we're like, let's go to Orlando. Let's do it. And we did this trip, and it was one of the best trips I've ever had. And I always remember one day, and to be fair, it's funny because it actually wasn't fully a park day. We did a day of shopping. We went to Cheesecake Factory. I think it was Cheesecake Factory for the first time. Ate a monstrous amount of food, like stuffed ourselves beyond belief, kind of at lunchtime. Brought the cheesecake, I think we brought the cheesecake back to the room, ate it in the room about an hour later for some reason, because we were like, still eyes bigger than belly and all that kind of stuff. And we were staying at a Rosen Inn. I think it was just Rosen Inn. And out of the window, we could see islands, and you could specifically see Doctor Doom. And we were stood there, and at that point, we'd never been on Doctor Doom. And we were stood there, and we were looking out the window, and we're like, should we go and do like IOA at night? So we kind of looked at the times, and it was open till I think 10 o'clock at the time, and we're like, let's go and do it. And I just remember like us going over there and doing Doctor Doom, and like almost kind of by happenstance, if you know what I mean. Like it just kind of happened. It just kind of like materialized. We were like, well, let's just go and do this one. And we loved it. And I know, obviously, I go on about it, and I know it's a bit of a running joke, but at the same time, like, I adore that ride. And I just remember that is one of my fondest moments. And in terms of days as well, it's one of my fondest memories because, we did that, we did Hulk, we did Jurassic River Adventure, we went and did, I think, Spider-Man, Forbidden Journey. Like, we went and did IOA at night, and it was the first time we'd ever done it. And for us to just kind of done it on a whim, and we just had the best time. And I just, honestly, I will remember that day forever because I loved it so much. And they're two of my best mates, absolute legends. And, I hope one day I get to go with them again because, we had an amazing trip. And yeah, what a day. What an absolute day. Nick has asked a couple of other questions as well. So he said, you can have Doctor Doom ride in Universal UK, but it's got to be a new IP. What am I choosing? I mean, it's difficult because obviously I love Doom. And I love Doom because of the theming. I love Doom because it's Doctor Doom. So it's difficult because the ride system itself, I really enjoy it. I do really enjoy it. I think it's unique. It's different. And I'm not... A drop tower would never be my top of the list, if you know what I mean. But I love that system, as we all know. I don't even need to say it at this point, do I? But if I could do it something else, I'd go Wicked. I think something to do with Wicked, I think would be really cool. I don't really know what, and I like, but I think that Wicked could lend itself quite well, and I think that you could theme it quite nicely as well, and it could be, whether or not it's something to do with defying gravity or whatever it is. I think that would be amazing. So I'd go Wicked. I'm standing on my Wicked hill, absolutely. And final question he's asked me is, what is my go-to favourite album of all time? This is an interesting one because I remember Jade asking me in, I don't know if it was the previous one or a couple of episodes ago, a couple of Q&A episodes ago, and she asked me about music, and I was a bit awkward about it because I enjoy music, but I'm not a huge music guy, if you know what I mean. I love myself some country music. So if there's like a go-to album, I suppose that I always kind of like, if I'm going for a specific song or like specific songs that I have listened to a lot over the past few years, there's a Scotty McCreery album. I really enjoy a bit of Scotty McCreery, country artist. And I think back to one album. There's one called See You Tonight. I love it. I think it's a great album. It's one of my favourites. It'd either be a Scotty McCreery or a Luke Bryan. That would probably be or a Luke Combs, one of the three. Yeah, I think that's probably a similar answer to what I gave to Jade's one last time. But it's a good question. I love it. And moving on, next question we've got Good Life AXK. and they have asked me, this is Aaron Krishna, they have asked me, what ride from Disneyland or Universal Hollywood would I bring to Orlando? I think of what, like, when I saw this question, there's one ride that jumps out at me straight away, and it's based on the fact that obviously I've had this conversation with quite a few people. The ride I would bring, and the problem is I wouldn't replace what it already is in Orlando, but I would bring the Mission Breakout Guardians of the Galaxy ride. That thing, like the reviews and when I've spoke to people about this ride, everyone raves about it. We all love Tower of Terror. Like, let's not get that wrong. Like, we all love it, and I adore Tower of Terror. I really do. It is a bit like Doctor Doom. It makes me absolutely giggle like nothing else. I love it so much. But then there's the opposite side of this, where you could put a Guardians overlay on it and you get something different, and you get something just like completely different and spectacular. I wouldn't replace, but what I'm saying is I would bring that to Orlando. I would bring that. Don't need to get rid of Tower of Terror. Just go and stick the Mission Breakout one over in Epcot, because the Guardians area needs another ride. Let's be real. If it had 2 rides in there, it would be exceptional, wouldn't it? So, great question. I love it, but that's where I'm going. Luke, Fitness Journey 1. Luke has asked me, if you could bin one ride or attraction from each Disney park, what would you bin? Oh, mate. Oh, I'm going to get cancelled here, aren't I? Just, the problem is I will answer it. If I could bin one ride or attraction, I'm going to upset someone. So I apologise in advance. I was about to say I'm not one to sit on the fence. I totally am. I'm going to try and not sit on the fence. I'm going to think of something that I quite honestly, I just don't get, or I don't like, or I don't rate. Let's start with Epcot. Figment, see you later. The thing does nothing for me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like, I'm sorry. I know some people adore Figment, but for me, it's gone. Like, apologies. Over to Magic Kingdom. If I could bin one ride, oh dear, because whatever I say, I upset someone big time here. It's a Small World. I've gone big, and it's only based on the fact that it doesn't do anything for me. I get it. I get people love it. I get that it's like an iconic ride. I have no desire to go on it whatsoever, which is fine. It's not aimed at me. Let's be real. It's not aimed at me. I am not the target audience. But for the sake of this question, I'm going It's a Small World. Hollywood Studios, what would I get rid of? I mean, I would have binned Muppets in a heartbeat. But it's already going. So I've just kind of laid one into Muppets, despite the fact it's already down, kind of down and out. Sorry, guys. The problem is, the other thing I'd have said is probably Rock and Roller. And yeah, and the problem is, obviously, it's already going to get a retheme to Muppets. I kind of want to bin it already. I feel really harsh saying it, because I don't want to judge it until I've been on it. And it might be brilliant. It might be a fantastic ride. And trust me, I will go into it with an open mind. And I know that I've said about Muppets, and I've said about Aerosmith a few times. Like, I mean it in jest a little bit. I do. There is a part of me that obviously I'm not a huge fan, but like, I love a coaster. Of course I do. I absolutely love a coaster. So, you know, if there is a solid coaster in that park, then absolutely. Like, but I mean, what else do I go for? You know, like what else could I get rid of? I think I've got to go Muppet. I know it's going already, and I know it's a bit of a cop out, but like, I pick those two. I do. I'm sorry, but I've got to. And my final one, let's go over to Animal Kingdom then. If I could get rid of a ride or attraction, I'm getting so cancelled after this. If I could go one ride or attraction in the bin from Animal Kingdom, what is it going to be? What do I just not get? What do I not like? What does nothing for me personally? I'm going to give you another cop-out a little bit because I think it might already be shut. And this is a bit of a cop-out, but at the same time, I know that there's a lot of people who loved it. I go Dinosaur. And I know that this is going to be super controversial, and I'm not saying it just to get a reaction. I'm not. And I'm not saying it because I hate it. I'm saying it because I think it's just had its time. I think that it really, really has. And I think that I know we all love a bit of nostalgia and we stick with a bit of nostalgia, but at the same time, it comes to a point for me, like, and this is with everything, it does come to a point where I go, maybe it just needs to change and it just needs to be different and you just need to have something new. And obviously they know that and they're doing that. So I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go Dinosaur. So apologies. Basically, this section, Lucas managed to get me cancelled. So it was a good one. Like, and it's tough, isn't it? Because I'm not saying I hate these rides. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that if I, off the top of my head, and that's the way that I always want to try and do these episodes because it gives you the most genuine answer. I've got to think of the things that come to my head first that I'm not that interested in, you know? So, yeah, I'm not going to repeat the answers because, because I feel a bit bad. Next question we've got from That Disney Girl. So, Amy has asked me, dream Disney trip, where, when, hotel, money not a factor. So, when? And this is a difficult one, isn't it? Because there's obviously so many different times of year to go and like obviously seasons and events and stuff. This is going to sound a little bit mad because I've been this time of year and never done it. The thing. I'm ready for it, you know. I am. It's October. I want to do October. And I think the reasons why I give October is because I think that time-wise, in terms of like time of year, I think weather's pretty good. You're coming out the back of the hurricane season. It's not like crazily hot. It's not crazily busy. There is things like Halloween Horror Nights on. There's things like Mickey's Not So Scary on. You know, it's all kind of effings dressed up in Halloween. I think I'd go October. I think that's kind of where I'm at. Hotel. I mean, there's multiple hotels I do want to do. I really want to do Polynesian. I really want to do Animal Kingdom Lodge again, obviously. Polynesian. But I think the one that's kind of sticking out to me a little bit, you know, Polynesian I think is a bit of an easy answer, but Grand Floridian is sticking out as well. There's something about it. There's something about Grand Floridian that is, the more people I talk to, it is really sparking my interest. It's really starting to get my attention, and I'm thinking that maybe at some point, I don't know when, I think I'm going to have to do it, you know? I mean, ultimately, I want to tick off all of the Disney resorts at some point. So I've got a few to do, and that's fine. I'm here for it. So that's the when and where. In terms of location, it's always going to be Orlando for me. It will. I can't look past Orlando. I adore Orlando with everything. And don't be wrong, like, I want to do the other Disney parks. So let's get that straight. I will do the other Disney parks at some point. But at the moment, I am so invested in Orlando that I cannot look past it. And I'm unapologetically biased as ever. So that's what I would do. And in terms of just like, I really do want to kind of just get out to Disney. I really want to do Mickey's Not So Scary, you know? That piques my interest. You've seen that I quite enjoy a little semi cosplay. I like a little Russ becoming a character. I'm quite up for that, you know. So if I could kind of bring something kind of fun or funny or amusing to Mickey's Not So Scary, I think that would be quite cool. So yeah, I think, you know, I'm thinking October, Grand Floridian. Let's get to Mickey's Not So Scary, and I think just doing everything, you know, as ever. And I think just being there, but being there with amazing people is always going to be the thing. And I think just being able to see all of you guys out there, and I think that's only ever going to grow. So the more that I get out there, the more chance I get to meet all of you. And genuinely, the next time I'm out there, if any of you are out there at the same time, and you spot on a story that we're in the same park or anything like that, like, please message me. Please message me. I will always try and take the time out if I've got the opportunity to like come and have a chat with you, because I love talking to everyone. Like, it is my favorite thing. I like the community side of this, of the podcast is my favorite part. It always has been and it always will be. So it's a great question. Love it. Next question, we got a few from Dom from Wookiees on Tour. He has gone for keep, update or close Kennedy Space Center, Cheesecake Factory, Doctor Doom. You've made it a bit easy for me, Dom. I'm not going to lie, because you've given me two of my favourite things and something that I enjoy. So I'm sorry, but Kennedy Space Center is in the bin. Like, I enjoy it, and I've been there probably 4 or 5 times, and I think it's great. But it ain't a patch on Doctor Doom and Cheesecake Factory for me. So you know what? I keep Doctor Doom. I love it. I do. I absolutely love it. And the thing is, I know that at some point there is going to be that day that it goes. And I know it's going to come. And I think it's probably going to come sooner than later. And I know it. And I am going to be absolutely devastated. Honestly, I am. I will be there. And I'm laying it down. I will be there to ride it on the final day. I don't care when it is, but I will be in that park that day to ride Doctor Doom for the final time. Yeah. So I update Cheesecake Factory. The only thing I'd probably add to Cheesecake Factory, like, because I love it. I love the menu. And I love the fact that there's loads of options. I'm totally here for all of the options. But I think the only thing I could probably add, I'd like, I'm being greedy here. I love like the bread. Add a couple more breads, Like the 2 they do are banging. So let's add some more in. Let's do something else. Let's do more. I think like the options are always amazing. I think that what do I change about Cheesecake Factory? Do you know what I mean? I'd make more of them. I'd bring it to the UK where I live. I think I'd just add even more options, And I know that probably sounds absolutely wild, but I probably would. I would add like even more cuisines, because I feel like the food quality they do is so good that give us more. Give me more. I'm just being greedy. So that's where I'm at on that one. Next question from Wookiees and Tories. What is the one activity I would do in Orlando if money was no object? Money was no object. And I assume you mean outside of the parks, but I don't know. And it's difficult because something like Wild Africa Trek in Animal Kingdom, that it does appeal to me. And I know that comes with a bit of a price tag. That does appeal. I think of the hot air balloon ride. I would really like to do that. That really kind of sparks my interest, that I would be kind of keen. I'm trying to think of other things that potentially I would be up for. What other things am I dying to do in Orlando? I mean, move there? I think it's the hot air balloon. I think that I really would like to do that, because I love Orlando, and to be able to see it from a completely different point of view, I think would be absolutely stunning. That's something that really, it piques my interest significantly. So I'm going with that. And I would really like to do it at some point. Whether I do sooner or later, I'm not sure, but I would like to do it. I think that's really, really up there. And then the final question from Wookiees on Tour is, what will be the first ride I'll try to go on at Epic Universe? So now we're talking about Epic. Let's get into the Epic conversation. I'm apologise, everyone. If you have posted Epic content, I have skipped it. If you've posted an Epic story or an Epic post, I have essentially looked at it with one eye shut, because I really want to look at it, and I really want to see what Epic is like, how it all looks. But I just want it to be a surprise the first time I go in there. Like, I want that first seeing it through my own eyes to be through my own eyes, if you know what I mean. And so I don't know anything about queue times. I don't know anything about like people's perceptions of the rides. I don't know anything about the reviews. I know nothing. I know nothing more than like the episodes that I've done speculating about it beforehand. So, first ride, it's got to be the Battle for the Ministry. Like I can't look past it. I think that is so far up the list. I think it's got to be. I'm still a massive Harry Potter fan. I think that it's got to be that ride, and whether or not that is going to be the best ride, I don't know. But I think that or Starfall races. Starfall. I think it's Starfall. Could be. It was Stardust, was it? Or was it the other way around? Who knows? It's going to be called Starfall or Stardust forever, isn't it? One of those two. And I obviously, because Dueling Coaster, like that to me is mega. But I think if I had to pick one, it is still Battle for the Ministry. So it's a great question. Next up is from Adam Worley, and he has asked, what cartoon would you like to see become an IP in a park, and which one over Disney or Universal? This is tough, because cartoons, I can't think of a lot. I'm going to go animation. I'm going to go for an animation route. I'd go Pokemon. I really want to see Pokemon in Universal. I think that it's still relevant. I think people still love Pokemon. I still think it's massive. I don't think people quite understand still how big it is and like how, the games are great. I love the games. I love them. And like, I remember watching a TV series back in the day, and I watched it like not that long ago as well. I love a bit of Pokemon. So that's where I would go. I'm there all day long. I think that it lends itself quite nicely for an area that people of all ages can appreciate as well, because obviously we've grown up with it a lot. So we've seen a fair amount of, the characters, so to speak, or the original 151. There's probably about 800 of them now, I'm not sure. But do you know what I mean? There's that kind of, I feel like it lends itself really well. I think it's a really good option, and I feel like it's feasible. So to answer that question, I go Pokemon. Next up, we've got a question from PT Roberts, and he has asked me, Disney parks, okay, is a keep, update and close. I have got to keep one, I have got to update one, and I have got to close two. This is brutal. I messaged him a minute ago, just to double check that I understood the question. To close two parks. This is grim. This is horrible. But okay, what do we do? What is my keep? I've got to think of... It's Hollywood Studios. For me, the keep is Hollywood Studios. It is got to be. I love Hollywood Studios. It's my favourite Disney park. For me, it gives me all the vibes. I love being in the park. I love the shows. I love the rides that are in it. It just feels like a great park to me. I really enjoy it. So Hollywood Studios is my keep. My update. It's Magic Kingdom. I love Magic Kingdom. I feel like for me, and this is going to sound wild, but I feel like it needs more. And obviously it is getting more, but I feel like it needs more. Because I feel like there's so many iconic rides that pull quite big queue times. And I think that you need just a couple more big rides. And I think that it needs a couple more thrilling rides, to be honest with you. A couple more thrilling rides. And that park is absolutely perfection. Like, you're going to have the nostalgia of things like Pirates or Jungle Cruise or Haunted Mansion. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so you've got proper nostalgia. Then you've got things like Tron, and I know I've bashed it a little bit, but it's still a great ride. It is. We can't argue it. And then you've got like just the feels of the park and just the classic Disney feel and like the sights, the sounds, the food, the music, like everything. That park has got the lot, but I just wish it had a bit more. So that is my update. And it leaves me, this is wild. And I'm not saying I want to do this. I'm just saying I'll answer the question. This feels baffling, but I'm going to close Epcot and Animal Kingdom. Which is wild because I'm going to close my favourite Disney ride in Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm going to end up closing Flight of Passage as well, which obviously is a ride I think is exceptional. And I'm saying it, and now I'm having regrets because I like Guardians, and to be honest with you, I like Guardians and Flight of Passage more than probably almost any ride in Magic Kingdom, which is really awkward. So, but for this question, I've got to. That's the way that I would go. I think that I've got to keep Hollywood Studios. I think you've got to keep Magic Kingdom. And unfortunately, I've got to close Animal Kingdom and Epcot, which like feels grim. So, horrible question, but I do appreciate it. I mean, yeah, it's not great, but thank you for putting me in that position. Next question is from Revan Dussel. And I don't know whether or not your name is Devon Russell. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know. I'm not sure. Right, so next question from Revan Dussel. They've asked me, if you could experience something in Orlando again with fresh eyes, like it was the first time over, what would it be? Oh, this is so tough because I think of Guardians, Rise, Velocicoaster, Hagrid's, Flight of Passage, Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is not at the top of anyone's list, I know this. Walking into Magic Kingdom. Oh my God. I think for me, it's probably Guardians. And it's really tough, but I think it's Guardians because I think, honestly, that absolute feeling of just joy and elation coming off of that ride was something else. It, like, honestly, that is an exceptional ride. And I think, you know, I obviously told the story of it, but the build up all day of like waiting to get on it, and the time getting pushed back, and then eventually getting on it, like kind of right at park close, was just kind of like a culmination of like finally managed to get on it. And what a ride. So for me, it's got to be Guardians. I absolutely adore it. It is absolutely top tier. Next question. Magical Memories Moyers, Kyla, she's asked me, what ride am I most excited for in Epic? And this is a toss-up because obviously the ride I'm going to head for first, like I said a minute ago, is going to be Battle for the Ministry, and it probably is Battle for the Ministry. But I tell you what, Starfall Racers, or Stardust Races, or whatever it's called, I don't know. I think that's growing. That hype is growing for me because I'm thinking like, Dueling Coaster, it's kind of hitting me a little bit. Dueling Coaster, like that's mega. Like, you know, if we get another roller coaster on par with Velocicoaster and Hagrid's, like, we are eating well. Like, so yeah, I think that's where I'm going. It's got to be. And thank you to Kyla because she's so supportive. She really is. I loved our episode. She was brilliant. Next question is from Norton GG Norton. If you could design any ride in Orlando, no budget, it can be as crazy as I like, what would it be? So, I mean, this is tough, isn't it? Because I've got to think of probably an IP that I want. I've gone on about this a lot. The thing is, there's two things that I lean to, okay? One's Marvel, one's Wicked. Those are the two things that I want to see in Orlando. I mean, my favourite thing is Marvel. This is the problem, but I also know that it can't happen. So I go Wicked. I'm going Wicked, and I feel we need a Defying Gravity coaster. Like, surely, like either a coaster or I think of something. If you had like a simulated, like almost a bit like Forbidden Journey, but you were kind of on a broomstick, and kind of like you're flying around reenacting that kind of final scene from Defying Gravity in the film, would be amazing. I think that it would look stunning. The soundtrack obviously would be absolute, like, incredible. I think the scale of it could be insane. I think it's that technology. I think it needs to be that technology, but you're on a broomstick, and I'll kind of want to have it so that you kind of can't see anyone else. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be in like a row of 4 on broomsticks. I want you to be almost on your own, which would be wild, right? Like, for you to essentially just be doing this ride on your own would be incredible. And like, so that you feel like you're literally you are literally Elphaba in that film and on that ride. So that's the kind of thing I go for. That's the ride system. I think it could happen. And like we all know that Wicked obviously did exceptionally well as a film, and there is a chance. There is a chance that, you know, Wicked does come to Orlando. If it does, and I think it will land really well. And I keep going on about this because I just have a feeling that this could be the next thing. I feel like this could be the next big kind of IP to come to Orlando that lands just exceptionally. So that's what I'm going for. It's a great question. Mouse and Globe, absolute legend, like so supportive. So, like, genuinely, if you don't follow Mouse and Globe, go and give him a follow, because he is so supportive of everyone. And, like, you know, consistently shares, listens to the pod, watches the vlogs. What an absolute legend. And he has said, do you have a plan for your time at Epic Universe, first ride and snack? So we've gone through first ride. First snack, and this is difficult because I did the Food of Epic Universe episode. There are some foods that interest me. There are some foods that I'm not quite as excited by. But I love a themed food. But the thing that is grabbing me is the butterbeer crepe over in the Harry Potter area. That to me is really grabbing me. That is really grabbing me. I love a butterbeer. I love a crepe. So I'm going to love a butterbeer crepe, aren't I? So I'm all over that. I think that's where I'm at, and that's what I go for. Next up is Lenny Loveridge, another absolute legend. How excited am I for Universal Great Britain? Very excited for a start. I need to do an episode on it. Quite honestly, I would have done an episode a couple of weeks ago. I've had a lot on. I haven't had a lot of time. I'm going to be real, and like adding another episode in hasn't been possible. So it will happen. I will do an episode on it. I promise you that. Like, absolutely. And he's asked me, how do I think that this will affect all of the Merlin parks in the UK? It's going to affect them. So let's get this straight. Universal Studios building a theme park in the UK is mind-blowing. It is incredible. Like, absolutely buzzing. Like, this is huge. I'm not sure everyone gets how huge this is, because the knock-on effect that this is going to have to Merlin, in my mind, can only be positive. Merlin is well established. They have great theme parks. If I'm talking about Fort Park, I'm talking about Alton Towers. These are two great theme parks, okay? They are theme parks, first and foremost. They are very roller coaster dominant. They have minimal theming, I think would probably be fair to say. But I think that they have tried to lean into theming over the years. However, what knock-on effect is Universal going to have? I think absolutely Merlin would be absolutely, like, it would be wrong of them if they didn't try to go and link up with a company, a film company especially, to go and try and get a couple more IPs. I think that's the way that it will affect Merlin. And I'm going out on a limb here saying it, because I know there'll be some people who say, no, we don't want that, we don't need it. I think that if they want to try and combat Universal Great Britain, they're going to have to do that, because they know Universal is going to open and it is going to steal so many crowds. It's going to bring in new crowds. It's going to bring in new interest, of course, but it's going to steal crowds, because if you have got the option of spending however much it's going to be, 50, 60 quid on a ticket or more than that, and you've got the option between Universal or Fort Park, I think we all know where we're going. I don't think Fort Park, to be quite honest with you, with a lot of people, gets a second look. So, and it's a shame, because like I'm saying, they've got brilliant rides, but I think, you know, from our point of view especially, that Universal is going to bring it. They are going to bring it. They know that they're going to basically have the busiest park in the UK from opening day, which is baffling, isn't it? So that's the knock-on I think will happen. Whether, you know, Fort Park go and try and strike up a deal with Paramount or someone like that to try and get a couple of IPs into their parks. Obviously they did it with Saw, so it's totally achievable and it's doable. But I think that we need to see it with a couple more. That's what I think. That's the knock-on effect I think it's going to have. Next question is from Holly Loves Disney. She has asked me, have I seen the new Snow White movie? You've heard it, mixed reviews. I have not seen it yet. I will watch it. I always try not to judge. I know that the film itself had a lot of backlash before it even came out. So it was heavily criticised. The actors in it have been heavily criticised for speaking out, for saying stuff and things like that. And, the way that the film was being handled from even when it was announced a couple, 2-3 years ago, wherever it was, it hasn't gone well. Will I watch it? I will. I will always try to go into everything with as much of an open mind as possible and try and make my own opinion up, if I don't like it, I'll be honest and I'll say why I don't like it and I'll say, what missed for me. But I'm not just going to go and hate on it. It's not my way of doing it. You all know me by now. I'm very positive. I always try to be positive. I love film media. So, of course, if I get the opportunity to go and see a Disney film, I'm going to do it. So, yeah, I will go and see it at some point, but I haven't actually seen it as of yet. Next question is from Wine Guy 87. What is the best table service restaurant in Hollywood studios? I'm the wrong person to ask because I don't know. What I can comment on is Roundup Rodeo. I really enjoyed Roundup Rodeo. So if you are looking for somewhere fun, entertaining and value for money, which is the question you've essentially asked, I would probably say Roundup Rodeo because the amount of food that I got was huge. The quality of food was exceptional. The service was brilliant. So I think, I don't know, maybe I have answered your question. I think it's probably Roundup Rodeo. I would recommend it to anyone. I would recommend going in there starving hungry because you are going to be absolutely stuffed full. It's a great experience. I probably wouldn't do it every trip. It wouldn't be an every trip thing for me, but at the same time, I would do it again and I would recommend it to people. So it's a great question. Next question. Joe and Andy Disney have asked, what is my best Disney and best Universal piece of merchandise? Okay, so the first things I think of, and I got them both on my most recent trip, is 2 Spirit jerseys. I wanted a Spirit jersey for a while. And I'm going to be real with you. And whether people disagree with this, I'm not saying this to be controversial or anything stupid. I think Spirit jerseys are not aimed at guys. Realistically. I don't think they're aimed at guys very often anyway. And I think the same thing about Loungeflies. And I'm fine with it. I love the designs of Spirit jerseys. I love them. I absolutely adore them. I love looking at them. I don't think they're aimed at me. Do you know what I mean? And the same with Loungeflies. I love the designs of them. And I love seeing people wearing them in the parks and stuff. And I love seeing new designs. And I totally get them and I totally feel it. But I don't think they're aimed at me. I think that they are certainly a more feminine item. I don't want to offend anyone saying that. And, if you're a guy who wears a Loungefly, don't, I'm not saying this to get anyone, but I think people probably get my point that they're smaller bags. They're designed, I think, arguably for smaller people. Do you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? I'm a fairly bigger shouldered, bigger armed guy. I think I'm gonna look a little bit weird with a Loungefly on. I don't know. But anyway, I've gone on a tangent of just trying to get myself cancelled. Clearly, best Disney and Universal piece of merch. You'd have seen the pictures. There's 2 Spirit jerseys. I've got a Lion King one, which is a black one which says Hakuna Matata on the back, and I love it. It's got Simba, Timon and Pumbaa on the back. Love it. I love it. I saw it quite a few times on the trip, and eventually, I just had to get it because I was I just this is totally me as well. I think the Hakuna Matata embodies me a little bit, and I enjoy it. I think it's a cool Spirit jersey, and I quite like a black tee as well. So, and then the other one I've got a Universal one. As you'd have seen the picture, I had to go and take a picture in front of Jurassic Park River Adventure. I've got a Jurassic Park Spirit jersey, which is a red one with like a big kind of like Jurassic design at the bottom on the back, which I think is sick. I saw it and I was like, that's me. That's got Russ written all over it. So those two, my favourite bits of merch from the two parks. Next question, we've got a few more questions left, and we're pretty much there for rounding off the episode. Roxy Roo has asked me favourite places to eat in Orlando, like I eat there every trip. So Cheesecake Factory, easy, every trip, Cheesecake Factory. The thing is, I'm an off-site kind of guy, so I do like a bit of off-site dining, so I'm going to throw some off-sites at you. I'm just going to list my faves. Cheesecake Factory, Olive Garden, both of those, no-brainer. Chili's, I love a Chili's. For me, a Chili's is a staple every trip. I had this chat with Danny and Vicky in their first episode. Eyes peeled for the second one with Roll on Holidays. And where else? Kiki's. I've talked about Kiki's, going there for breakfast a lot. There's a Mexican place called Chuy's, which I absolutely love. That is a no-brainer for me as well. I love a Taco Bell, you know. I'm here for a Taco Bell. If I can get a Taco Bell down me, I'm all over it every trip. Like, I quite enjoy a Denny's. I enjoy like a Denny's or an IHOP breakfast. And to be fair, that's something I haven't done in a couple of trips. So I'm definitely going to do that in August. I know my brother's well up for a Denny's and an IHOP, so that'll be good fun. And those are kind of my staples. They're pretty basic. Longhorn Steakhouse as well. They're all pretty basic. They're all ones that I've talked about quite a lot. The only one that's probably a little bit kind of out there is Chuy's, because I don't think I don't think many people have been there. I'm telling you all, like, if you go to Orlando this year and you like Mexican food, go to Chuy's. It is top tier. I mean, I am telling you, I am putting a Russ review on it. Absolutely 10/10, like banger. So yeah, next question. Chris Roosevelt's chat, absolute legend of a man. What has been my favourite podcast moment? Chris, there's been so many. There's been so many that I feel almost bad to pick one out, because I could think of every single guest episode and I could pick a moment. I genuinely could. And I could. And to be fair, I did that to an extent in the 100th episode, because I just wanted to be able to say thank you to all of you, because without all of you, I can't do this. Without all of you, I wouldn't do this. So I appreciate you all so much. So much. So, like, it's just a huge thank you. Favourite podcast moment? You know what? For me, I've got to go with one of the ensemble episodes. I do. I think of the 50th. I love the 100th. Don't get me wrong, but I think the 50th. No one knew it was coming, and that was one of the best things. I think that no one knew, like, the kind of thing that I was thinking of doing, and to be able to pull all of you together, and it was like 30 different guests, to get you all to send me a question as like a Q&A episode, like kind of where you all took over, I loved it. I would love to do it again at some point. I really would, but it was a lot of work, and also, like, you know, it was a lot of work for you guys as well. So I appreciate it hugely. So 50th episode, just getting everyone to band together and send questions in, like, it meant the world. So he's also asked me, what's your favourite video game? This is tough, because this might come as a shock to people who don't talk to me that much. I don't get a lot of time to do a lot. I'm not trying to say I'm the busiest man alive, but my life is wild. Like, I am flat out constantly. Like, if it's not my, like, work, that business, it's Orlando Adventures. And if it's not that, I'm trying to fit social in. And if it's not that, it's probably watching football. So, like, and I don't get much more time beyond that. So it's really tough. But I think, to be honest with you, favourite video game, I think of like all time. Like I was a FIFA guy through and through for years, but I think of like one game that I played so much. I was a Halo 3 guy. Halo 3. There was a lot of time dug into Halo 3. Absolutely loved it. That was an era. That was, that was myself, my brother, and one of his mates and one of my mates, and we always used to play Halo 3 every night. Every night, Halo 3 without doubt. So yeah, that's probably my favourite of all time. Absolute top tier game. Next question was from Rian PC33. Favourite snack or meal or drink from each park? You're going to test me now because I've got to try and remember some snacks from every park, which is going to be tough because I am not the best at remembering all these things. Let's try and reel some off quick. Magic Kingdom. I am going pepperoni pizza, spring rolls. Hollywood Studios. I would go funnel cake. Epcot. I would go Fiesta Margarita. Animal Kingdom. Night Blossom. Universal Studio. I don't know if you're asking me Universal. I'm going to go for it anyway. Universal Studios. You know what? I'd probably go a standard pretzel in Universal Studios. I rate their normal pretzels. And I was so sad about the Shrexel because I felt like it was so much worse than the normal pretzel. I've got to try it again. I've got to do it again. I've got to give it a fair chance because I feel bad for it. Because I felt like I slammed it a little bit. Like, I wanted to like it. I really did. But it just didn't hit. And I think maybe I just got a bad one. So, yeah, I'd go a standard pretzel. And then over in Islands, I would go to Florian Fortescue's and go and get myself a mint choc chip ice cream. So, yeah, done. That's my snacks and drinks. Sam McShane, next question. When is your next trip? Well, Sam, you have asked me a question. You knew I'd answer it as well. When is my next trip? Well, I've just told everyone that I'm going on the 5th of August. Can I manage another trip in between? It feels unlikely, doesn't it? Let's see what happens. Next question. Snacks, beers and Mickey ears. He said, obvious one, but what is the 3 things I'm most excited for at Epic? Well, and I've probably gone through these, to be fair, through this episode. I would say Battle for the Ministry, Starfall Racers, and I am really intrigued with Dark Universe. I really am. Top 3 things I'm most excited for with Epic Universe. I'm going to give you answers you're probably not expecting because you're probably all expecting me to say the rides. And obviously I am buzzing for the rides. Number 1 thing I'm most excited for is walking under that entrance for the first time. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that feeling. That is number 1. Number 2 is to go with people who mean the most to me and to go with people who I can share the moment and the memories with. And talking of sharing it with people, number 3 is to vlog it because I feel like it's going to be it's going to be a big moment because I'm going to share that first experience with you all, and I want to share it with you because I want you all to see my reaction to these areas and to this part because it's going to be it's going to be unreal. It's going to be a different level, and I think to share it with all of you and hopefully give you all some insight and some information if you want to watch Epic Universe content as well is going to be huge. So that's my 3. It's a great one. I love it. And James, you're an absolute top guy. And I've got 2 more questions from Dreaming with Stace. And she has asked me if I could add any country into World Showcase in Epcot, what would it be and why? This is so hard. And I feel like this is a question I might have had before at some point. And it's so difficult because I really enjoy World Showcase. I really do. What country would I add? Like, I think the answer I gave before was probably like Australia. I think might have been the answer. But you know what? I think maybe could we go different? Do you know what I mean? Could we? And like, you're all going to tell me that this is literally like the most stupid idea ever. Okay, right. I've got an answer. I think what would be absolutely like so cool would be like an ancient lands. Do you know what I mean? Like, and this is essentially just a mythical lands area. But like, if you could have like, not to scale, but like some amazing looking kind of like historical things that have like been around places over the years, I think that could be really cool, you know? Like, obviously based on proper things, or like, you know, can you imagine if you did like Babylon or something like that? Do you know what I mean? Like something like that. I've got an idea now. I'm off. But that's kind of like, I think that's kind of where I go. I think like something along those kind of lines, which is, I know is a bit weird, and you know, I probably should have thought about this before I answered it, but this is what I'm running with. So it's a great question, and the final question from this episode from Dreaming with Stace is: if all of the Orlando theme parks were to suddenly close and you could only ride one last time, which would I choose? One ride to rule them all. This is tough because there's so many rides that give me so many different feelings, and I think it depends who you're with. It depends, you know, what kind of IPs you like and what kind of ride styles you like. But if I could just do one more, I think for me it's got to be Velocicoaster. I know it's a basic answer, but I think for me it has to be, because it ultimately is. It is my favourite ride. I love Jurassic World. I love the ride itself. You know, I can't look past it. I can't. I think the Velocicoaster is absolutely the best roller coaster I've ever been on. So there you go. It's a simple one. It's a basic one. And part of me wanted to say Doctor Doom. And part of me did. But at the same time, it is not on the same level. And I know that. So anyway, this has been so much fun. I always love doing a Q&A episode. I know you will enjoy them. I will do more. We will have more Q&A episodes without an absolute shadow of a doubt throughout season 2. If I'm running 100 episode seasons, apparently, we'll probably get 4 to 5 Q&As per. So it gives you all an opportunity. It was pretty short notice. I dropped the question on a Thursday. I let it run for one day. Sometimes I let them run for 2. Sometimes I kind of like, I shout about it a bit more. I'll drop it on a day where like more of you will see it, like a Sunday. But I went for it, dropped it on the Thursday. I'm recording it on the Friday. So that's where we're at. And some brilliant questions. So thank you everyone who submitted one. I appreciate you all. And I hope you enjoyed listening to this one as much as I enjoyed recording it as ever. And I will speak to you all in the next one.